Hello, I'm George Gonzalez, and I'm obsessed with making games. Today, we're gonna do a special request for Shadow, who asked for a loading screen, Animal Company loading screen. Okay, so Animal Company does this loading screen where you can actually look around a scene, and they do a new scene every so often. And we're gonna figure out how to do that and how to do. They actually have two right now. They have one where it follows your camera, and then they have the one that usually happens after that, which is the one where your camera you can see the scene. And so as you see here, we have the 3D scene. So in order, all you need to do the first loading screen that Animal Company usually does is a 3D scene. Okay, that's all it is. And then you have the rig. So I called it the startup rig, and it's basically the Gorilla Tag rig. You just need this XR origin, and you can remove the player rig, the Gorilla Tag and the capsules and the rigid bodies. You can remove all that. There's nothing else. The other thing that I like to use that I don't think it's in there I'm pretty sure it's not in Animal Company. It's a fader, and I got this from Fusion. But this will fade the screen to black and out. So if you want to fade in and fade out, instead of just abruptly leaving the scene, you can do that. And we'll see how that works later. But we're going to go over how it works, okay? And if you wanted to do the other one where it follows the camera, all you have to do is remove this and just add a regular camera. So if you add a regular camera, everything will track the same. So it'll be like the same camera. So everything will be rendered into the camera. If you wanted to do that for the letters that show up in the screen. But I recommend at the very least to always have a loading scene or anything else. So because this will help you load assets, log the player in, validate the player, grab their inventory, their cosmetics, everything. And so this is a good way to start and have everything before you transition over to the multiplayer scene. So okay, so we do the loading. What happens? The other thing that you need to be aware of is that there'll it seems like there's a little bit more of a delay because usually when you load a game, it takes like 10 seconds, like less than 10 seconds, like 2 seconds, and it's done. And so oftentimes, if I did this regularly, like normal, and I just wait to load the assets and move to the next scene, it will be super fast and you won't be able to see what's going on. And so what I think Animal Company does is they delay the loading, even though they don't. By now, maybe they do take that long to load, but regardless, you can manipulate it. And I'm going to show you. I'm going to set it to wait for 50 seconds or 20 seconds before moving on, because even 10 seconds is pretty fast. So if you want the player to kind of chill in that room for a little bit, this is how you do it. Okay, so we're going to run through it. What happens is when we finish the entitlement, this goes through. But these are all the checks that I do for in-app purchases, loading assets, when we're ready to launch the game. Okay, if we didn't load the assets, we're gonna wait. But if we did load the assets, we're gonna start the launching procedure. And it's an I enumerator, launch the game, and this is it's a coroutine. And what we're gonna do is first we're gonna wait. This is the time that you want the player to just observe the scene. Because if we don't have this, it's gonna be super fast. It's gonna load so fast the player won't even see it. So if you want something like Animal Company where it leaves you in that room for a little bit so you can appreciate the loading screen, then you can do that. And usually you'll notice that when I logged into Animal Company, it does take a while to load that. Then what I do is I just make sure the fader is on and I fade in. And I wait for that fade in to finish. And then I do like a 0.2 second wait because this will change the scene. And so I want to make sure that the fader is more than done, not like almost there. Okay. So this is just like a buffer that I like to have. And all these can be done inside the same coroutine. So you're just waiting. Yield return, and you wait for the time. This fader thing, if you don't want to fade, it's okay. You don't have to do it. That's just an extra thing that I do. You can just do this, and this launch event, it basically starts the next scene transition here. And in one of the other videos, I go over that. But you don't have to, because it doesn't matter. If you're using Fusion, Photon, Pun, Fishnet, Unity Netcode, whatever solution, even if it's not multiplayer, and you just want to learn how to do loading scenes, that's all it is. You have a VR rig that tracks the head. So this will allow you to look around. And because I've removed the Gorilla Tag player stuff, the player won't be able to move around. There's no logic to move. And so you won't have to move. The player's just looking at the scene. Okay, very standard. And let me show you how it looks. We're gonna go in and make sure maximize those connected. And it's pretty straightforward. You just have the XR origin. I have a few extra things I gotta remove, but see, I have it. It's gonna wait for a little bit, even though it's done. See, loading next scene. And now it's taking forever. But it would have loaded by now. See, but because I have that delay, see, and now it's there, and then the fade. Then you see, I'm here, and that's me. Okay, so it's all working. Okay, that's pretty much it. It's super simple, but it adds a lot of. It's a nice effect because you can just add things on updates here, what you're loading, whatever you want. This is just a sample, something that I threw together really quick to make this video. If you have any questions about loading, if this was specifically about the new loading screen that Animal Company did, where it follows the camera, then that's just a script that does a follow through. You can easily use ChatGPT to say, hey, how do I have this text follow through with a lazy follow? There's different scripts that do a lazy follow, and so you could do that with different letters, and it makes parallax. And so that's how you would do the other one, the other loading screen where it follows the camera. But I find that very nauseating. So I think this is the one that you were asking for, the loading screen, the 3D scene, because you can look around and it looks cool. This is, I think, the way to go for VR. It is really nice because then you can see things and super cool. So anyways, we'll see you tomorrow, actually, because I'll be doing a level up, how to level up as a game